Hey friends, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Christine, and today's journey we are going to be starting our turkey jerky. So we're going to get the marinade put together because it's going to go overnight in the refrigerator so we can dehydrate it tomorrow. So come along with. Hey friends, we are ready to put this marinade together. I have the turkey, my ingredients, and I actually pulled out one more ingredient. I've got some maple syrup that I'm going to add to it as well. But let's get to it. So I like to make the marinade first and then put the meat in, and then I've got some gloves out and we're really gonna get it in there. So let's start out. So I like, instead of soy sauce, I've talked about in other videos, I'm gonna be using the liquid Aminos, and it is going to be 1/3 cup. I don't have a 1/3 cup, but there's a deviation on here to make it 1/3. So I'm gonna fill this up. We're gonna go 1/3 cup of the liquid Aminos, and then you also do 1/3 cup of Worcestershire, however you say it. And actually I'm gonna take this other cap off. So this is also 1/3 cup, and it definitely doesn't need too much salt because these have quite a bit of salt in them. And we're going to do 1 tablespoon of, you can do honey as well, but I have maple syrup open that I'm trying to use up. So we're going to add that. And that's kind of the liquid part right now, except for the liquid smoke. I don't know if you've ever used that, but they do sell it in the grocery store. This specific brand, I'm not sure, but if you don't have a smoker at home, this works really great to make smoked chicken and things like that. You just add a few drops to your food. So we're gonna add this. This is going to be, it says 3 dashes. I'm gonna add 4. And it doesn't need to be refrigerated or anything. So the liquid smoke. And we're going to do 3 turns of pepper, and this is just fresh peppercorns, and then salt. Because of the soy sauce and the Worcestershire, I'm just going to put it in my hand a little bit and just a quick graze of that. This is my Redmond's real salt, which I love, and depends on how hot you like it, but I'm going to add a little bit of red pepper flake, just a dash. It's got the big holes on the top, and I like to just kind of put it in there, give it a little bit of zip. Onion powder. All right, so now we're back to directions here. So we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and just do the best you can with it, especially when it's in powder form. It's kind of hard to navigate on there. So that's the onion powder, and I like ginger and turmeric and a lot of things. It has quite a bit of medicinal purposes. So we're going to be adding those, even though the recipe doesn't call for it, but I'm going to be adding those anyway. So I'm going to do a 1/4 teaspoon leveled off of the ginger, and then also turmeric. I'm going to do the same, 1/4 teaspoon. And it doesn't really change the flavor a lot. I mean, unless you really specifically do not like ginger. I know some people are like that. I thought would be also fun is to add ground mustard. And actually, let's get this one open. I just bought it at the store. So hold tight. Okay. And I'm gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of that as well. Okay. Oops. And then to finish it out, paprika kind of gives it that smoky flavor along with the liquid smoke. I'm just going to do a few shakes. And you know, this recipe isn't super specific, but it will make the things taste smoky and delicious. So I'm gonna give it a stir. You can whisk it if you want to and really get it mixed together. And I'm gonna pull out the meat. So, you know, this marinade can be used for, you know, quite a few different things. So if you want to do ground pork for a jerky, you can do it. Obviously, I'm doing it for the turkey. You can do ground chicken as well. So all these things, you know, with the skyrocketing prices of beef, turkey does tend to be a little bit less expensive. So if you're trying to preserve your food and make it last as long as possible, this is a great way to do it, because once you dehydrate it totally, it is good for, you know, up to 18 months to 2 years, depending on how you have it contained. So I usually vacuum seal it in smaller portions. And yeah, so, all right, let's get this meat out. So this is 1.5 pounds of turkey, ground turkey I had gotten from the store. And let's get it all out. I thawed it out this morning. And so yeah, this is going to sit and marinate overnight. So let's get it all in there and mix it up. This is where the gloves come in handy. If you want to get your hands right in there, you can. But this is going to make your refrigerator smell amazing. And look at that. It kind of really just soaked it right in. And then I'm super excited to try my new jerky gun. And we'll do it together. Okay, guys. I'm going to put some plastic wrap over this and let it sit overnight. So we'll see you tomorrow. Hey friends, welcome back. It is time to process the turkey jerky. It's been a full 24 hours that it's been marinating in the refrigerator. So let's get to it. So I have the meat out of the fridge and the jerky gun, which actually was one of those purchases from Goodwill. It was really awesome to find it. And it came with a couple, actually all the parts that I know of. And it almost works like one of those cookie presses that we use at Christmas time. So it's got 3 different ends to it. The ones that you can make like Slim Jim style, we're not going to use those today. I'm going to be going for the flat. So I have that out right now, and that's what we're going to utilize. And how this gun works, it's not real sturdy or anything. It is made of plastic, so I gave it a good wash. But there's just a button on the front. So when you push that in, it goes all the way down, but that's how you pull it back, and you're able to put what you want inside. So I'm gonna get a glove on. I'm hoping this isn't gonna be too messy. I've got my apron on, ready to go. And I'm gonna be utilizing my same dehydrator that I've used in all my other videos. It is the Hamilton Beach, and I love it so much. It is one of those that you can actually set the temperature on, so you're able to monitor it better instead of just the air that blows on some of those big circular ones, and you just kind of have to hope that it's dry in a few days. So moving on to the meat. This is ground turkey, and I have made beef jerky in the past, but it's never been with ground meat. So I'm super excited to try this with you. So I have a sieve out because I do notice that it is a little bit soupy. It's not bad. Everything pretty much was absorbed overnight, and it smells amazing. So I'm super excited. So I'm going to just kind of push this through the sieve, the amount that I think will fit in the jerky gun, and just kind of give it a real light press. Nothing major, just to kind of get the extra little bit of liquid out. I'm not sure how much is going to fit in, but I'm super excited to do this with you. So I've got it kind of filled to the top here, and I'm going to get my trays ready. So I'm going to set this to the side. I have my book out for later for us to do the temperature. And again, I have my cookie sheet out because this is probably going to be quite a bit messy. So, and then on the dehydrator, I actually have my silicone barriers for easy cleanup, and definitely for this because it is pretty moist so that it doesn't fall through. So we've got that on there, and I'm trying to do this one-handed because this hand is pretty gooped up. But yeah, let's get to it. So it's locked in position, and I'm just gonna stuff this in there. Maybe there's an easier way to do it, but I'm gonna stuff it as full as I can. I haven't really watched anybody else do it with the jerky gun. I've only done it with larger pieces of meat. And what the hint with that is, not the ground meat, but the big chunks of meat, is the trick is to slice it super thin is to throw it in the freezer. So you freeze it, and then it's easier to slice. You freeze it for about a half hour or so. And then just enough to get it firm, and then you can slice it pretty easily. All right, so that's about all that's gonna fit in. And I'm gonna get this on. So I've kind of been playing with this a little bit, and I'm thinking that me going sideways as I squeeze it to lay the jerky out is gonna be the easiest. So that's where I'm gonna try to get the slot on the accessory here. So just like that. So let's get this screwed on, and let's see how this baby works. All right, I'm gonna give it a few squeezes, and here it comes. And you can make them as long as you want. I think that's pretty good. And make sure there's a space in between. So like, kind of like 3 squeezes, and then you can kind of mush it together. So 1, 2, 3, and then just kind of dollop it at the end. 1, 2, 3. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get this filled up. Okay, so there's the first tray. That's about all I could fit on it. And we're gonna get this set up here. And then we're gonna move on to the next tray. So once I have these all filled in, I'll circle back and get everything set up with you. Okay friends, I am officially done. So I'm gonna get them all stacked up and ready to go. And if you look at them, they actually aren't laying quite as flat as I want them to, but I'll probably tamp them down a bit. This one's the specific one that goes on the very top of my dehydrator. So 1.5 pounds of ground turkey, and there's 4 levels to the dehydrator. And boy, was that messy. So make sure you either have rubber gloves, food safe gloves, what have you. And yeah, it was really super messy. I did find that when you pull the jerky gun to start, that just loading a little bit at a time works better. Instead of trying to shove like a whole tube in there, it ended up kind of squirting back out. So it definitely worked better just putting a little bit in at a time, leveling it off, screwing the lid on almost tight, and then adjusting whatever that you end up using. So if you end up using the other attachments, the one like that looks like a Slim Jim, for lack of better, that's totally fine. So I'm gonna get this in my dehydration station and get it set up with you guys. So come on with. Okay friends, we are in my dehydration station, which is outside, because it is about 90 degrees today. So I'm going to set it, and normally for me, I set mine at about 150. So actually, and for 5 hours, and then you check it every half hour after that. So I'm gonna do the 5 hours, and then temperature, I'm gonna go up to 150 and let it go. So in about 5 hours, time right now is 2:35. So we will check it when the timer goes off and then decide if it's gonna go overnight. So I have a feeling just because of the thickness of them, that it's going to need to go longer. Hopefully it'll be done before bed, and then I'll go over with it and get them all packed away tomorrow morning. So see you tonight. Hey friends, there's just about an hour left. I think we're down to 47 minutes and we're still at 150 degrees. I just thought I'd come out before it gets dark. So let's take a look. So they're still pretty pliable. So I'm assuming that they're gonna have to go longer. So I'll check them again in the 47 minutes and then I'll adjust the time. But I just thought I'd give you an update and they're looking pretty good. Okay guys, the timer went off and it definitely needs some more time. So I think this is an experiment. I feel like I'm gonna flip them over for the next session. And then, so you can see like the print, they're pretty dry, but they're not totally dry. So I'm gonna flip them over and then let them dry. So the 5-hour timer went off at 150 and I'm gonna reset it at least hour. So once I get these all flipped over, you can see that they are firm, but you definitely want them to be totally dry. So I'm gonna reset it and then I'll check back in. Okay friends, it is bedtime for sure, and they definitely are not done. They're pretty firm, but they're still pretty mealy. So I'm gonna bring them in, turn the temperature down, and I'm gonna let them go, I don't know, probably 5-6 hours, and then I'll see you in the morning and check them out. Okay friends, it's the morning and I let them go overnight. I ended up setting this to the lowest setting, which was 100 degrees, and then I set the timer for 6 hours. So they just weren't quite done. So let's check them out. I did sneak a bite and my husband had a bite as well, but they are definitely totally dry. So I'm gonna get these out of here, out of the dehydrator, and ready for consumption, ready for gifts, whatever. So super excited. Okay friends, we're gonna get these bagged up and jarred up. So in my previous video, I showed you how to preserve your apple chips. And I've got my vacuum sealer out with a lid, and so we'll do that first. And then what's left over, I'm just gonna put in a reusable bag. So let's get to it. So I am going to put my ring on the top, make sure that there's nothing on the edge of the jar. So I'm going to center that. And then this is those food saver preservers it's a jar sealer. So it's got like a rubber gasket underneath, hole on the top, and then my unit has, I just left the hose in from last time, but it's got a porthole on the top. And some of them do, some of them don't, so you'll have to keep an eye out. I actually bought this for just a few dollars at a thrift store back home. So, right, make sure it's centered and push down. You can only push it so far, and put the hose in the top. And then my vacuum sealer you have to hold down, and it's going to change sound as it's sucking all the air up and out. So let's do it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And that's it. There wasn't much air in there, I guess. Let's take that out. Oh, and this is a situation where it didn't seal. I think I might need to get another lid. I don't know if this one is good enough, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, I got a different lid. This is one of the ball sure-type ones. This is one of those decorative ones. I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit, kind of like the ones that come on jelly jars. I took it out of my stash, but I guess it's not good enough. And then I did check the ring, or the jar, to make sure that there's no cracks or chips. So let's try it again. Centering it, pushing this down as far as it'll go. Make sure the hose is in. Hose is in tight, and let's try. Take 2. Okay, let's make sure it seals. Oh yeah, this one's gonna be sealed. and you wiggle it off, and then so the last time this was stuck in here, and then that's when you know you don't have a good seal. But this one, here we go, let's give it the try. It is sealed. And just depending on, so we'll probably eat this in the next couple of months, bring it on our trip back home. And then these are the ones that we'll eat right now and share with our neighbors. We're having a little get together later. Hey friends, okay, so we made it to the end, and this is actually really amazing. I'm so excited to share it with my neighbors tonight. We're gonna have a little get together, and yeah, here's the texture of it. So as it was coming out of the gun, it kind of made a little swoop, but it's definitely dry. The other side is the side that was laying down on the mat. But yeah, it's got that little bit of texture, and it was from ground turkey. So I'm super excited to try it with ground beef, ground pork, ground chicken even. So you can make up your own concoctions. I followed a kind of specific recipe from Pinterest I found, but then added a few things. So I will list what the ingredients were that I put in and down below. So if you guys like videos like this, I have a few more on dehydrating. I've got some on water bath canning, and pressure canning is coming, and also preparedness. So thanks again, and I will see you in the next video. Take care guys, and God bless. Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. We are gonna do a preliminary